I'm just gonna do this little talk while cooking my food. So today, with the banning of Andrew Tate, what we're seeing is you can't be a man on social media. You can't speak the truth on social media. So I'm gonna make this as clear as possible. It's coming a time in culture where our generation of men is about to have the biggest, possibly, adventure of our lifetimes. It's that bureaucracy has been subverted, and now we have to rebuild all of our social institutions, from school to how we do our money to the arts. Anything subverted, the military, anything subverted by bureaucracy, we have to come closer to God now. And that's the best way of putting it. Men have to come together. We basically have to create our own local Andrew Tate war rooms and rebuild society on a more localized, more individual to individual level. And I'm just a dumbass making this video. It's like, what do I know? But I know that something needs to be done, and it's time to step up, because we know, all of us guys in this generation, we've all felt the fire. We all have this masculine fire as little boys. And what the school system does, it tries to quell that fire. But now, if you're like me, you're at the age where it's like you're an adult, your Christ consciousness is awakening. It's time to get together. And it doesn't mean we don't do anything crazy. It doesn't mean we have to go protest. It doesn't mean we have to make some violent militia. What it means is that we need to start building networks and building brotherhoods. Because we simply, it's at a point where it's intolerable. We can't live this way. We can't be spiritually destroyed like this. We can't live in a way where it's you can't get women. You can't speak your mind to women, or the whole bureaucracy comes at you. We can't live in a way where a job is not going to sustain you. We have to start moving our businesses to the internet. We have to start finding ways of passive income, and we could literally build the kingdom of heaven on earth. And it does start with its internal, and this applies to me just as much right now. Jordan Peterson says, clean up your room before you change the world. That's become a cliche now, but it is that we can become the change we want to see in the world, as cliche as that sounds. So it means reaching out to more people, be willing to build more relationships with people. And this is something I'm working on every day in my business. I try to genuinely ask people about their personal lives, how they're doing. I try to genuinely make friends. I try to genuinely set up relationships where firstly, I can provide value to my community. It's as simple as that. It's like coming into an energy of being willing to give first, because don't worry, you will receive. That's already done. We're already wealthy. We're already rich. People just don't know how rich that they are. And that's a big thing about this Christ consciousness awakening. Christ has returned, and he's returned in us. In this crazy globalist world, we don't need to take a massive political action necessarily. What we need to do is we need to be honest with ourselves. We need to not tolerate what these bureaucracies are doing anymore. I see all my customers every day. They take their kids out of school. They're homeschooling them now. At the same time, I think a kid needs to get socialized, of course, but obviously we're stepping up to the plate. We're not tolerating our kids being indoctrinated. We're not tolerating our boys getting taught by women for 20 years and losing all their masculinity. We're not going to tolerate that anymore. And this is not to alienate women. It's not that women can't teach boys. Women can teach boys, but we have to rethink this. It's like we need strong men in our society, and it's how do we do it? And with Tate being banned, I thought what the kind of things Tate says needs to be taught in school. The dynamics between man and women needs to be taught in school. Modern ways of wealth creation needs to be taught in school. Men do not need to be tyrants in relationships, but men need to genuinely have the authority and lead relationships. In the West, the power has been essentially taken away. You can't get married anymore and have the authority. If you sign the paper, you are signing away your authority. You have to be able to have the authority at all times. You have to be able to tell your wife, hey, this is what we're doing. It's like you will listen to your wife, obviously. You will hear her out. A man is her rock, but at the same time, you cannot be swayed by her emotions. And you keep your frame, because the masculine and the feminine will reveal to the man certain emotional things, and that will really enlighten the man, that will can make life worth living for the man. Maybe that's a sad way to put it, but you know what I mean. It really fills the soul with God's love. And the thing is, man can't get his love from women. That's something that needs to be taught in school. Man cannot get his love from women. Man gets his love from God, from within, from internally, from the Father. The Father being the all that is. And by men constructing these new networks, and the way we construct these networks is all of us come together with the intention to give to the other men first. We all have our own skill, our own talent, and we offer that to each other in this network. And together, men we build competence, we build power, and we're able to accomplish any goal we want. We must build networks with a certain framework in mind. It's like I think we should accept all people. We should accept in the whole world, there's a place, maybe on someone's spiritual journey. I'm going to put it bluntly, if someone is a simp, if a man is a simp, or if a woman is a hoe, it's like we just have to accept that. But in these networks we build, we have to not allow men to simp and not allow women to hoe if they want to be in this network. And it doesn't mean we don't have love for all these other people. It doesn't mean we're not willing to serve them either. But we can start building a foundation for the world we want to have our kids live in. Because I keep thinking, it's like, do I want to bring a kid into this world? There's a Bob Dylan song, it's Masters of War. It's you've wrought the worst fear that can ever be known. I don't know the exact lyric, I'm paraphrasing, but it's fear to bring children into this world. This is becoming intolerable, but at the same time, this fight is not hard once we just awaken to the fact that we've already won. And that's all it takes, is knowing we've already won, knowing we have the power, we can take it back. We don't have to say yes to these bureaucracies. And all it takes is a collective NO. And more people are beginning to get the courage to just say no. More people are homeschooling their kids. More people are investing in cryptocurrency. More men are refusing to simp. We're boycotting Hollywood. We're boycotting mainstream media. And we're building our new systems that are anti-bureaucratic. So even though Tate is banned, it's a great thing, because it's a message to all of us that we know that now we can take steps to show the positive sides of masculinity now. We can be ambitious. We can be leaders. It's okay to lead. It's okay to be competent and have authority. It's okay to build yourself up. It's okay to give your wisdom to women, as much as they might not want to take it, but it does require an empathy, and women teach you empathy. And it's that to gain that authority, you do have to earn it, because we don't need our men. We don't need them working in McDonald's, and we don't need them living in these just tiny box apartments. That's not the way a human being was meant to live. It doesn't mean, there always will be the poor, as the Bible says, of course. But we can come to a more harmonious, higher order experience. And I think this is what our generation was meant for. They say millennials are so soft. We were spoiled growing up, and a lot of us were. I know I was. But now we can gain the power back, and the first step is let's start talking to our neighbors. Genuinely, the people around us in our life, let's start talking to them with a spirit of openness and love, a willingness to serve. And we can bring men together and build our own local war rooms, so to speak. Because it comes to a point where we need to protect our families. We need to protect our values and our culture. And we may differ on our values and our culture, of course. But we can have, and we have freedom, and we have prosperity, and it shall not be denied to us. All it takes to be rich is to realize that you already are. And you know, the rich only get richer. I hope I didn't ramble too much. The reason I want to make this video is I was just watching the H3 podcast. I was watching him just shit on Andrew Tate. And it almost inspired me. I was like, I'm going to become a red pill YouTuber overnight. Because I see it's just the system, the Matrix is promoting this guy who's, I don't want to be mean to say he's always just a fat loser or something, but it's like, look at who he is. He's, in a lot of ways, I'm trying to say this as constructively as possible, but in a way he is a demoralized man, a product of this, and he is who the Matrix wants to promote while banning Tate, who is righteous. Tate is like King David. Of course, maybe he had a Bathsheba incident, whatever. And that's not to excuse that. Don't think for a second that's to excuse that. But at the same time, that should not overshadow the righteousness of Andrew Tate and his example. I believe he is more humble than he is arrogant. I believe he is more loving than he is hateful, by a large degree. And he is the one who kicked in the door for the rest of us. It's okay to talk like him. And now more individuals can start speaking up. I watched this kid, Sneeko, who's getting famous now. He's blowing up by just speaking the truth and being himself. By just letting the love in his heart come out. And you might call him dumb, you might call him immature, but if you look at him, he's being genuine. He's being genuine, he's being honest to himself, and he's being giving. And all of this has just lit a fire under my butt. The seed of this started with Trump. Trump kicked in the door. Tate did too. Our culture is shifting for the positive, and we have already won. I know this is a music channel, so I hope this isn't too much or too out of the ordinary for you. But I appreciate you staying healthy, eating some egg tacos. Let's go, baby.